welcome to your yoga practice. My name is Christine. If you have not practiced with me before, we will be doing practices sitting and standing and lying down, but you can do this whole practice from a chair. Just kind of use your own inner wisdom to modify anything that needs to be modified. If you haven't already, please go ahead and mute yourself now, so in case there are any background noises that might come up for folks that would put you on the screen. Otherwise, and also type your name, email address, or phone number in the chat so that we can track who all is attending. So let's go ahead and come to a seat, whether you're in a chair or sitting on a folded blanket or a bolster or a pillow or something on the floor. And you can come into a cross-legged position, or perhaps kneeling might be better for you. Just listen to your body, your hips, how you're feeling today, and invite yourself to be here in this present moment. Try not to let any distractions, any thoughts about making plans or ruminating on anything or thinking about what you're going to have for lunch or anything. That's always my go-to. What am I going to have for lunch today? So try to bring yourself to this time that you have dedicated to take care of yourself. Show yourself some compassion and some attention. And the first thing we want to do is, with your very next inhale, invite that breath into your body and let it go with a big sigh. Let's do that 2 more times, a couple of cleansing breaths, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Just notice the quality of your mind. Notice if you can relax your shoulders away from your ears a bit. Just notice if there's any shift in sensation, maybe closing your eyes to help you come inward. And if closing your eyes doesn't feel nice, you can always just soften your gaze. Let's bring our hands to our bellies. And imagine you've got a water balloon in your belly. And you've got it connected to the faucet. You're turning on the faucet as you inhale, filling up that water balloon. And as you exhale, you're just releasing the balloon from the faucet. Inhale, fill up. Breathing through your nose now. Exhale through the nose. And feel your belly soften. Inhale to expand. Exhale to soften. One more time. And then we'll bring the hands up to the outside of the rib cage. Might be right underneath the breastbone here or out to the sides, just where you can have a sense of where the ribs are. And this time, as we inhale, we're going to feel that expansion in the ribs from side to side. And exhale to feel the rib cage hugging inward. If this is awkward for the shoulders, go ahead and release your hands, but try to really focus your attention on that expansion in the mid-body from side to side. A few more breaths right there, nice and slow. And then we'll release that and bring one hand and then the other over the heart. And this time we'll visualize we've got a hot air balloon in the upper regions of the chest. And as we're inhaling, we're filling up that hot air balloon. And as we're exhaling, we're releasing all that hot air right on out. So let's inhale, feel the lift of your heart into your hands. Exhale, feel your heart soften downward. Inhale, feel that gentle lift. Maybe you feel some expansion up into the collarbones and the shoulder region. Exhale, soften. Couple more breaths right there. And as always, you can release the hands whenever you feel it's necessary for your body. One more full breath at the heart. And then we'll put all of that together. This is our 3-part breath. So we're going to bring one hand back to the belly. One hand stays at the heart. We're going to inhale to fill up the water balloon in the belly. Expand out into the side ribs. Inflate that hot air balloon. And then exhale, the hot air balloon deflates, the ribs hug inward, and the belly softens. Few more breaths like that. And you might even notice some expansion in the back of the body as you inhale in the belly. Maybe you feel some expansion out into the hips and the low back. As you inhale into the ribs, you might notice that expansion in the back of the body. As you inhale into the heart, you might notice some expansion behind the heart and in the shoulder blades. Three more full cycles of breath here. And as you found that last of the 3 cycles, release your hands if you haven't already. And again, just check in with yourself, the quality of your mind, quality of your breath, any shifts in energy you might notice. And if you're sitting on the floor like me, go ahead and switch the cross of your legs. We're going to bring the hands together here and just rub them together a little bit, creating a little friction, a little heat. You might hear my space heater over here kicking on from time to time. It's a little chilly yet, but we're starting to see some sun. We're just going to keep going, maybe a little bit longer than you think we ought to. Just warming up those hands. And then we're going to begin a tapping practice here. So let's bring your 4 fingers to the hairline at the top of the forehead, and we're just going to start to tap. Tapping evenly with both hands, and then maybe coming up onto the top of the head, down the center of the head, towards the back of the head, and then back towards the forehead again. Just coming out a little farther and then tapping from the forehead back as far as you can comfortably go. And then tapping towards the front once again. And then coming down towards the temples, tapping towards the back of the head. And then all the way towards the forehead again. And then we're going to come to the top of the forehead again. And this time we're going to start moving the tapping out towards the outer edges of the forehead. Coming down across the forehead towards the eyebrows. Let your shoulders be soft here and take a break whenever your body tells you it's time. And then maybe do some concentrated tapping here at the temples. And then underneath the eyes, very, very gently, very softly. We don't want to harm ourselves. We just want to wake up the nerve endings, the fascia, the skin. And then you might tap very gently on that place at the bridge of the nose in between the eyes. And then down the sides of the nose. And then out across the cheeks, towards the ears. And then down into that jaw hinge, which can be really tender. All the way out towards the upper lip, underneath the nose. And then back out towards the jaw hinge again. And then down underneath the lips and the chin. And then all the way on the edge of the jaw, back to that jaw hinge again. And then we'll take the hands out alongside the neck, stimulating the lymph glands in our neck, the little lymph nodes. And then you might want to cross your arms so that you can tap across the collarbones, maybe out to the shoulders. And then we'll release the tapping and we'll take our hands to our ears, turn your hands so that the thumbs are towards the insides of the ears, at the top of the ears, and the fingers are behind. And we're just going to massage a little bit here, massaging along the tops of the ears, getting into that little shell of the ear, maybe pulling gently. And then we'll switch so that the thumbs are behind the earlobes and the fingers are in front. And we'll just massage the lobe of the ear, maybe pulling out or down. And then we'll bring our tapping back and we'll start tapping at the heart, the thymus gland, the gland that helps our immune system. Just a little stimulation here, a little toning. And if you really want to get into it, you can close your hands and do a kind of a Tarzan tap. And then we'll just shake out the hands, roll the shoulders up and down and back a couple of times. And then settle the hands back in the lap. And once again, just check in with how you're feeling. If you feel any shift, any change, if you feel the same. No judgment, just curiosity, just gathering information about yourself here. What works for you? What feels nice to you? And then we're going to come up to standing. So go ahead, and if you're seated in a chair, you can stay in your chair. Set aside any support you're sitting on so that you can come to stand on your mat. And we're just going to kind of swing the arms a little bit from side to side. Take the feet out a little wider than hip width and just kind of imagine yourself, a little kid standing outside under the sun, not a care in the world, right here, right now. And maybe you might begin to swing your arms out a little bit. And you might notice that you are moving the toes and the ankles, the knees, the hips, the spine, the shoulders, the hands, the wrists, the neck. Everything is getting a little bit of movement, waking up. You might tap yourself on the hip and the shoulder as the arms come around. You might keep the movement really small, or you could really bend the knees and really get into it. Whatever works for you, whatever feels good to you today. Just a few more rounds of this. You might come up onto your toes. Then we'll begin to taper that off, slow it down, make the movement a little smaller, bring the feet underneath the hips. Come into Tadasana, mountain pose. Bring your awareness to the bottoms of your feet. If you're sitting in a chair, same thing. Bring your awareness to the bottoms of the feet. Just feel the sensation of being grounded here, being really present. As you're pressing down gently into your feet, you might draw the crown of your head up, the base of your skull up towards the sky. Soften your shoulders. Close your eyes to challenge your balance a little bit here. Then we're going to bring the hands to the hips. You might open the eyes and take a nice step out from side to side. Now, if you're sitting in a chair, you might scoot forward to the edge of the chair or the corner of your chair, depending how the chair is set up, and just take the knees out as wide as feels comfortable for you. So whether you're supported in the chair or standing on your mat, we're going to start with the hands at the hips, and we're going to point the toes forward so the feet are parallel here. Inhale to roll your shoulders up and back and down, lift the heart. Exhale to soften the belly and tuck the chin down just a bit. We'll inhale right here, and as we exhale, we're going to bend into that right knee and straighten the left leg. Inhale to come back to center, and as you exhale, bend into the left knee and straighten the right leg. You might want to bring your feet closer or farther apart. As we keep going from side to side, your body will tell you what you need. As we sit down to one side, act like you're kind of sitting down into a chair to keep your knee behind the toes. Keep your spine long. And you'll feel that we're stretching into the outer hip as we shift over to one side, and then strengthening that outer hip as we press up. And as we're shifting to one side, we're stretching the inner thigh of the opposite leg. Always remember, take a break whenever you need to. Move as slow as you like, and move with your breath. Next time to the left is the last time. We'll come to stand at center and maybe come back to Tadasana, mountain pose, bringing those feet underneath the hips, turning your palms forward, and just checking in with your energy again. You might notice you're a little warmer now. Maybe I don't need the space heater anymore. You might notice your heart beating a little more strongly. And then we'll bring the hands to the hips once again and step the feet out wide again. And this time we'll turn the toes out and we'll sit down and back into a squat. And again, you can do this from your chair. You can always switch to a chair if you like. We're gonna stay right here for a full breath. Take an exhale. And as you inhale, we'll press into the heels and straighten the legs, come up. Exhale to sit down and back. Inhale to come straight up. And if you're sitting in a chair, just make as subtle of movement as your chair allows. If you like, you can add the arms here. So the next time we inhale to straighten the legs, we'll extend the arms and come into star pose. And as we bend the knees, we can bend the elbows and come into goddess pose. Inhale, star pose. Exhale, goddess pose. Couple more here. Really pressing into the feet, sitting down and back as much as you like. And the next time we sit down and back, we're going to take the hands to the tops of the thighs. And again, take a break here if you like. Let's inhale right at center. Exhale, draw your right shoulder over towards your left knee. Inhale at center. Exhale, left shoulder dips towards the right knee. Inhale, center. Exhale, dip left. Inhale, center, and then use your exhale to dip right. Use the leverage of your hand on the inner thigh to really deepen this twist as much as feels good to you. Couple more to each side. Maybe you sit down a little further. Maybe you come up a little higher. Next time to the left is the last time. We'll inhale back to center, press into the feet and come all the way back up to Tadasana. Shake it out. Shake out the legs, shake out the arms, and then come to stand in your mountain pose. Again, we always want to take the time to check in with ourselves, with how we're feeling, with the energy of the body, with the breath. If you've lost the breath through that process, come back into awareness of it. And notice any shifts that you might have experienced. And then we'll come back to our mountain pose. Inhale right here. This time we'll keep the legs under the hips. Exhale, sit down and back like you're sitting in a chair. So if you're sitting in a chair, you're just kind of scooting to the front of the chair. You might like to inhale to extend your arms forward. Exhale, straighten up and press your palms back. Inhale, lift the arms forward and up. Exhale, turn the palms back and press. So now we're getting into those shoulders. If adding the arms is not for you today, just stay with that nice, deliberate breath, maybe coming back to that 3-part breath and sit tall and strong in your chair. One more time, let's inhale the arms forward, and then we'll exhale to bring the hands to the tops of the knees. Inhale to lift the heart, lift the gaze. Exhale, round the back body, chin to chest. Inhale, open the heart, gentle back bend here. Exhale, round the back. We can do this in our chairs too. One more time, let's inhale, roll the heart forward. Exhale, round the back body and come all the way down into a forward fold. And I'm just going to turn to the side so you can see. You're sitting in a chair, just bring yourself to as close to the tops of the thighs as feels good for you. You can bend your knees as much as you like here. And you can let your arms just hang like wet noodles. Or you might clasp your elbows in your palms, frame your face, and take a gentle ragdoll here. Find that 3-part breath, bending the knees nice and generously, inhaling into the belly. the side ribs, the heart, and then exhale in reverse. As you inhale, you might straighten your legs any amount. As you exhale, you might bend them more deeply. One more time, let's inhale, extend. Exhale, draw in. Let's inhale, press your hands to the tops of the thighs and find a halfway lift here. Just a nice, strong spine. Draw the shoulder blades down the back as you continue to breathe. Hug your elbows in. Draw the crown of the head away from the tailbone and keep a gentle bend in the knees. One more inhale here. And then we'll exhale, bend the knees, bring the hands down to the earth, and we'll step back to sit on our heels in hero's pose. So again, if you're in a chair, you're sitting up nice and tall here. You can also be sitting on a bolster or a blanket or a pillow here. And again, check in, notice. Stay with your breath and the sensations of your body. You notice any thoughts of future or past, any sounds around you distracting you, just redirect your attention back to your breath and the sensations of your body. And then we're going to take our bolster, blanket, pillow, whatever you have available. I'm going to use this little bolster. And again, if you are in a chair, you might want to come down. We're only going to be on the back of the body, so you might want to come down for this portion. If you want to stay in the chair, you can simply do the body movements that we're going to do to the best of your ability here. So here we are going to open up the heart. So come to sit lengthwise on your mat and have your pillow, rolled up blanket, whatever you've got, right behind you. And we're going to lower the shoulder blades down to that support and spread the arms out wide into a T above your support. If this is too much for your neck, you can bring a second pillow or a yoga block or something under the head for additional support. Thank goodness I had a lid on that water bottle. Otherwise, we want to open the throat here and let the collarbones really relax. You can have your knees bent, pointed up towards the sky. Or maybe it might be nice to send your legs out long. And just allow your heart to soften and open here. And again, let's bring that 3-part breath in. Inhale into the belly, side ribs, lifting the heart. Exhale, soften the heart, hug the ribs in, and the belly button comes towards the spine. Continue here, relaxing your jaw and your forehead. Let your arms be heavy and imagine your collarbones just kind of sliding away from each other. Few more breaths like that. Give yourself permission to rest, to take care of yourself here. Know that you are nurturing your nervous system, which has a very well-defined link to your immune system. And when we can calm down the nervous system, We can recruit that immune system, and we give our bodies time to heal and be restored. Another full breath here. And then if they're not bent already, we'll bend the knees one at a time and simply roll onto your favorite side. And then pull that support out from underneath you and then come right back to lay down, keeping the support right next to you. We'll send those arms out wide into a T again and take your feet out as wide as the mat. And we'll just windshield wiper the knees from one side to the other as we take the gaze in the opposite direction. A couple times to each side. And then we'll bring the feet underneath the knees, parallel the feet, and bring the hands alongside the hips. And we'll set up for a bridge pose. So if bridge pose is a lot for you today, you might like to just press into the feet, lift the hips, and bring your support right underneath the sacrum. So we're not pressing onto the tailbone, and the bolster or pillow is just about underneath where a belt would be if we were wearing one. And that's one of my hopes and dreams, is to not ever have to wear a belt again. This might be a great place for you to hang out for a while. If you want the more active version, take that support out from under you, press your hands into the earth, and we're going to inhale to roll the hips up towards the sky. And exhale one vertebra at a time back down to your mat. Inhale to press up. And you can be doing this in your chair, holding on to the sides of the chair and just lifting the hips as much as feels good to you. And we'll just continue to roll those hips up and down, curling the tailbone up one vertebra at a time, and then rolling it right back down. This time we're going to inhale, lift the hips up towards the sky, and we're going to stay here for a few breaths. Squeeze the glutes and notice how you can feel a little bit of a release in the front of the hip flexors. If you're on the support, to get that same sensation in the front of the hip flexors, you might extend your legs long, one at a time, or both at the same time. One more inhale right here, lifting the hips, pressing down into the arms, and then we'll exhale to roll right back down to the spine. Again, we'll take those feet out nice and wide, spread the arms out wide into a T, windshield wiper your knees and gaze from side to side. And then we'll come to our final Shavasana. So if you've still got your support handy, this is a great way to use it in Shavasana, is to put it right underneath the knees. That's especially helpful if you have any low back issues. And we're gonna just kind of settle in here, you might press into the triceps so you can lift your heart again and hug your shoulder blades in and down. And then we'll lift the head, tuck the chin, and then set the head back down so the neck is nice and long. And then we'll open up the arms, palms shining up towards the sky. Close your eyes if that feels safe for you here. Take another of those big cleansing breaths like we did at the beginning of class, inhaling through the nose, exhale with a big sigh out the nose or mouth. And again, give yourself permission to rest, to be still, to listen to the breath and feel the sensations of the body. Invite yourself to be heavy and solid. Invite yourself to be here. Let go of all control of the breath. Trust your body to take over once again. Relax your feet. Soften the shins and the knees. Let your thighs be heavy. Let your hips and your pelvis be soft. Feel the support underneath your back body, your arms, your shoulders, and the back of your skull. Let's just be here together for one more minute of silent stillness. Continue to soften and relax. Relax the jaw and the skin of the face. And then we'll just introduce a little gentle movement, wiggling the fingers and the toes, taking your gaze from side to side, waking the neck up. And then we'll rotate the ankles in one direction a couple of times, and then the other direction. And then the wrists a couple of times in one direction, and then the opposite direction. And then we'll inhale. If it feels nice, you can reach the arms out and above the head, stretching long into a good morning stretch as you use your feet to just press your support away, point the toes, flex the toes, point the toes, and then we'll bend the knees. Roll onto one side and press yourself all the way back up to a tall seat. Let's finish in staff pose, Dandasana, this nice balanced posture with the legs extended in front of you, toes pointing up towards the sky. Let's inhale together to bring the arms at the heart center, maybe raising them up towards the sky and bringing the palms together. And then exhaling, hands right down to meet your heart. It's a little loving kindness meditation I'd like to share with you today. I realize I'm a little over time, so I apologize, but if you can stick with me for another moment, you might like to just listen to my words or repeat after me. May I be happy. May I be safe. May I be well. May you be happy. May you be safe. May you be well. May we be happy. May we be safe. May we be well. And may all beings everywhere be happy, safe, and well. Thank you for practicing with me today. Namaste.